There are so many woke lunatics within the gaming industry, and while everyone is allowed to have their own opinion, these people cannot help themselves, and then they shove those political opinions they have into the content that they're creating. And now we have a lot more questions about Naughty Dog's upcoming Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet game, because the voice actress has been exposed as a massive activist. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we have been talking about this game since the Game Awards because of how many questions we have, but also how much criticism has been levied towards Naughty Dog and this title. First of all, we don't trust Naughty Dog anymore after The Last of Us Part 2, and they bashed Joel's head in, and they decided to throw away basically the character that people loved the most, one of the most central characters of the story. And, well, the way that Neil Druckmann acted after the fact, calling us all, haters and ists and phobes, isn't still sitting well with people. Imagine my shock, right? And this game trailers has been completely ratioed. I mean, as you can see, this is the official PlayStation one, 1.7 million views in 3 days. It's sitting at 83,000 likes and 189,000 dislikes. And then on the official Naughty Dog one, it's 57,000 likes to 134,000 dislikes. But they also had shut the comments off. When I was live streaming the Game Awards, I instantly had went to Naughty Dog's channel to see if it was already being ratioed, and it wasn't, but they already had turned comments off because they knew that there was going to be backlash. And you would think that you wouldn't make games that you know are going to receive backlash, but they definitely did. Though now we're finding out quite a bit more about this lead actress, and it seems that there are going to be a lot of actors within this. It's going to be similar to like Death Stranding, where you have a lot of notable faces, but she, of course, is the one that was really highlighted in the trailer. She's the central character. And now, of course, we are once again seeing Naughty Dog pushing an unlikable girl boss into their latest title, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Regardless of the potential quality of the plotline and the visual effects, what people most are hyper focused on is the playable character, a bounty hunter by the name of Jordan A. Munn. Munn is played by actress activist Tati Gabrielle, a woman who has made many controversial statements in the recent past. In a video that has been widely shared on TikTok, she stated that not only do things such as transgenderism need to be accepted, but embraced as well. Yeah, she basically said that you have to embrace these stances, I guess we'll say. She also has been very vocal about the need to see accurate LGBT representation in media, a push that many activists have been making, which has led to the massive influx in video games, TV shows, and films that feature and promote LGBTQ people. This is definitely an out-of-touch statement, in my opinion, because she says that we need to see more accurate LGBT representation when tons of content now features LGBT individuals or storylines or romances. And because we see such a vast amount now, there are a lot of pieces with this type of content that are just really low quality. I say this all of the time when it comes to characters like this, right? It's okay to feature these types of characters when it's not their whole personality. It should be, oh, I'm this bounty hunter who's strong, who's compassionate, who's brave, and she also happens to be a lesbian. But most of the time now it's, I'm a lesbian, I'm a lesbian, I'm a lesbian. By the way, I'm kind of a bounty hunter and I'm pretty good at it. Like, they just do not know how to write these characters in a way that most people are going to actually see them as a character, not just a token or basically a bright flashing neon sign that says lesbian, 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 or LGBT representation, LGBT representation. I like my characters to actually feel like real people. I can see them as real human beings, even if they're not, because they're in a video game or a piece of entertainment. But that's just not what Hollywood and the writers within the gaming industry do nowadays. But in an interview, she also had spoken about what networks could do to increase inclusion of these types of people in stories. She said they can go further, as opposed to having just one character that is LGBTQ or non binary, make it reflect the way that our society is, sprinkle more in there. So she just wants more and more and more. You can never please these types of people, it's never enough for them. And this is actually very similar to the Ghost of Yote situation. We know that Erika Ishii says that their gender is all pronouns. They've made posts in the past, like, for Halloween, I'm going to wear a sexy white bird costume, but only honk and be extremely shitty to people all night. If Steven Yeun wins an Academy Award, there will officially be more acting Oscars won by real Asians than white people in yellowface. I mean, she goes on and on. She does spew a lot of racist things, and still, at the end of the day, PlayStation wants to work with these people. Now, I said this when I talked about Yote. I'll say it when I talk about Intergalactic here. Everyone is going to have their own opinions, and I can respect human beings having opinions that are different from mine. That's definitely something that the radical leftists don't believe in. But it's okay that these people have their own opinions, even if I don't disagree with them. But my issue arises when they go on press tours for their pieces of content and they talk about how the industry needs to be changed in a way that they think is better. I do not support these people when they decide to attack gamers and call us ists and phobes. They are not taking our criticism into consideration. And as long as these two actresses do not insert their personal politics into the stories of these games, then I'm perfectly fine with them having their own opinions. Now, with Ghost of Yote, I don't necessarily think Erika Ishii is going to have any sort of influence on the story just because of the time period that it's set in, but when it comes to a game like Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, and we are talking about space, and we're talking about the future, and we're talking about advanced technology, that is where things get really messy, because look at something like Starfield. There were pronouns, there were characters that were just like walking caricatures. They were those, bright flashing neon signs for certain sexualities. And it is unfortunate that we are seeing these types of people be hired for jobs when they most likely are, yes, going to damage the reputation of these games. Maybe Tati Gabrielle will not end up ruining the game. Maybe she will have no influence, because a lot of the times actors and actresses don't have influences on storylines. But look at something like Rachel Zegler in Snow White and the Seven Magical Creatures, right? She did have an effect on the story. She is the reason why there is less of a romance in it. She is the reason why there are changes within that. So there are actors and actresses who can affect their characters and their storylines because they say, oh, I've been so invested in learning about this character, I think they would do X, Y, and Z instead. We do not have a lot of information on Intergalactic, and I've said this in the 2 videos that I've made on the topic. I just do not trust Naughty Dog, and I do not think anybody else should blindly support Naughty Dog. Maybe this will be really freaking good, but we are seeing an overabundance of space-themed games, and it clearly was just massive nostalgia bait within this trailer where you had Sony and Porsche and oh my gosh, it was just so much. It was so in your face, and she's wearing Adidas shoes, and they make sure to highlight that. So it will be interesting to see what this game actually ends up being. But as of right now, I have a lot of questions, and a lot of red flags are surrounding this game because of this voice actor, because of Naughty Dog. I will, of course, be keeping my eye on the situation, but gamers are not happy with this title's unveiling, and, well, it is getting raked across the coals. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.